Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
I want to start out with this clip of Jeremy Hogan because he's going to tell us very clearly why the fair notice defense decision by the court will lead to an increased likelihood of an imminent settlement. I think you guys are really going to like this, but make sure you stick around till the end of the video because that's when Jeremy Hogan is going to tell us exactly when he thinks this thing is going to end. So let's play this clip right here.
One more super important thing I want you to understand about the fair notice defense. I think Ripple's argument that its sales of XRP were not a security are stronger than its fair notice defense, but I think the fair notice defense might be more important, and here's why. The U.S. follows the rule of stare decisis, meaning that rulings from upper courts control the lower courts. The Kick Interactive case is from a same-level court, so it's persuasive authority, but it's not binding. If the ruling was from an appellate court, which is a higher court, the ruling would be binding on the Ripple court, which is a lower court. So if Ripple wins on the fair notice defense, it becomes persuasive authority for any crypto company the SEC sues from this point forward. If the fair notice defense survives and Ripple wins, the SEC is going to have an uphill battle winning any other lawsuits they bring.
So this is very important to understand. What he is telling us is the SEC cannot afford to lose the fair notice defense. They did lose their ability to try to strike it out of this case altogether, but they haven't necessarily lost the actual fair notice defense yet. But the SEC might not even be able to afford this going to the court and the court making a decision. And that's because, in all likelihood, it looks like it's going to lose. If the court didn't think Ripple had fair grounds to argue this, they likely would have just struck it out of the case right here. The fact that they're letting Ripple argue this in court really shows that the court believes Ripple has ground to stand on here. So this could have huge implications for the SEC because if they lose this motion, essentially they could be losing every other case, every other crypto case they bring in the future. The last thing the SEC wants is to lose this power that they have. And currently, they are going after one of the most transparent, one of the most responsible companies in the space. The last thing they want to do is lose all their power fighting this case against a company who's not even doing bad things. It could potentially force them to lose their power against bad companies they'll later want to fight, who they actually should be fighting. So there is no way the SEC is going to want to risk losing this fair notice defense and all their power going forward. So that's kind of the biggest thing about the fair notice defense, but there were some hidden things in here that I think we need to be paying attention to. Rathacon points them out, and he says, first, the SEC originally asked the judge to consider 72 other prior enforcements and draw conclusions about their similarity to Ripple. The judge flatly said no. It's only for striking fair notice, but seems significant. Judge wants to hear the unique merits of Ripple defense. Right here, this is huge. The judge is saying, look, all these other SEC cases, they don't apply to the Ripple case. This cannot be used as fair notice. This was one of the strongest arguments the SEC had. They were saying, look, Judge, we had all these cases in the past. Ripple should have just looked at these and used these to guide their sales of XRP and realized they shouldn't have been doing it. Well, the court says she's not even going to look at this. So this was a huge win for Ripple, because this is essentially saying that the Ripple case is unique, and in it being unique shows that Ripple would have had no way of knowing what they were doing was wrong. I want to keep going though, and there was actually another big thing. Second, as mentioned by Jeremy Hogan, the judges search the fair notice defense is objective, meaning in formal writing, it has to be objective standards and it can't be subjective. This case will argue if there is clear objective standards violated. So essentially what this means is the SEC can't come in and say, Ripple should have figured this out because it feels like what they were doing is wrong. It has to be clear-cut objective, where every single person could look at it and say it is fact what Ripple was doing wrong based on A, B, C, and D. Therefore, they messed up. It is clear, written in the rules, what they did is wrong. That is not present here. And the SEC is not going to be able to prove any of this, because the fact of the matter is they themselves were telling Ripple what they were doing was okay. So there is no way the SEC will ever be able to objectively say what Ripple did was wrong. And this is what the court is looking for. The court is telling the SEC they need to do the impossible and produce evidence that doesn't exist. This is a huge loss for the SEC and shows that Ripple is actually in an extremely strong position right now, and really goes to the fact that I don't believe there is any way the SEC would risk actually letting the judge make a decision on this. There is no doubt in my mind that it looks, based on everything we're seeing right now, all the SEC's best evidence is being thrown away, and Ripple's evidence just keeps on getting bolstered and bolstered by the court. Let's keep moving though, and this kind of transitions into the next big ruling and the next big debate going on behind the scenes in this case. And this has to do with directly what the judge is looking for. I was interested in what facts the judge would focus on going forward. There were 3 facts she refers to in finding there are legal questions to consider at trial about Ripple's XRP distributions. 1, Ripple did not sell XRP as an investment. 2, Ripple has no relationship to investors. 3, there is no correlation between Ripple's activity and XRP price. If the SEC does not come up with a sound evidence to disprove these facts, it may have a serious problem at fair notice. So what Bill is telling us, he said these are the 3 main facts the SEC is gonna have to disprove. Did Ripple sell XRP as an investment? Do investors have any relationship to Ripple? And is there a correlation between the price of XRP and what Ripple does? Well, the first 2 are very obviously a big fat no. Number 3 is where the SEC is trying to argue, because this is where they believe they might be able to pull up some evidence. So let's see what Jeremy Hogan has to say about it. First, he read through actually the expert reporting, so Ripple gets an expert and the SEC gets experts, and essentially they argue back and forth whether or not Ripple's actions affect XRP price. Jeremy Hogan pretty much says these are impossible to understand, which is pretty funny because Jeremy's a super smart guy, so that means I'm not even gonna bother opening these up. So, what do you do if you don't understand them? Well, he breaks this down. Ripple has attacked my favorite issue in this case. Whether anything Ripple does whether anything Ripple's business does substantially affects the price of XRP. Ripple's expert did such a good job at tearing up the SEC's expert that the SEC expert tried to slip in a belated amendment to his report. This is what has been going on behind the scenes for the last 3 months. What we are seeing here are just 2 of the experts battling. Apparently there are 16. Always remember that if the experts battle in a tie, the defendants win every time. So this is huge because what he's telling us right here is, based on the filings in this case, we can see that the SEC seems pretty desperate to amend their strategy on how they're arguing that Ripple impacts the price of XRP. This is very obviously a bad sign for the SEC's case, and it shows that the judge is focusing on how strong the SEC can make this argument. If the SEC is not making a strong enough argument where it puts the court over the edge, where it's not even close to a tie, there's no doubt in the court's mind that the SEC won this battle, that is the only way the SEC is going to make a substantial impact on this evidence going forward. But it's also super important to point out that Jeremy Hogan literally says that he read through these briefs and couldn't even understand what the SEC was trying to say. Now, you might think, oh, well, that's unfortunate because maybe they were saying something and it makes a lot of sense. Jeremy just couldn't understand it. You have to understand that the judges are going to be reading these SEC motions and thinking the same thing. If the judges are confused by the SEC's attempt to essentially create this correlation between what Ripple does and the price of XRP, they are in no way going to see it as an objective standard, and the SEC is going to lose. But not only that, Jeremy Hogan literally says that even if it's a tie, Ripple still wins. So I don't believe there is any way the SEC is going to be able to come out of this, and just as the judge and the court literally told us, this is a big thing for her. And obviously, if the SEC is not going to be able to prove this in a way that is seemingly objective, then there is no way they're going to be able to push this case forward in any way that could benefit their side. Now, one of the funniest things about this entire thing is it's literally a meme in the XRP community that whenever Ripple does anything, the price of XRP doesn't move, and I think it's so funny that this is the SEC's best way or best chance of winning this case. Literally something that no one is convinced of. I tweeted out, I'm just being honest with you, SEC. This is not the hill you want to die on. And just to show you guys an example, this is the sentiment from the people who have been watching the price of XRP every little candle for the past 3 years. These are the people, and they're saying, I swear Ripple could announce a settlement that includes clarity and still not sure XRP would go on a run. You would think after yesterday's news we would have pumped to over $1. But nope. Not this stubborn little coin. Good thing I know it's the standard. And this is just so funny because no one thinks XRP correlates to Ripple's announcements. Every single time Ripple announces something, XRP does nothing. So I don't think there's any way the SEC is proving this. I think they likely know it. And I think no matter what, anything they said in that expert report is just gonna leave the judge saying, you know what, maybe some of the things you said made sense, but this is not objective. There is no way this is gonna be what allows you to win this case, and unfortunately for the SEC, I believe this is the only thing they could have argued. They are running out of evidence fast as the court continues to throw it out and say what they are bringing to the table is not substantial to prove Ripple had any wrongdoing in their business activities. Last of all, this guy Brian tweets out at Jeremy Hogan, does this change your prediction regarding the case ending in November? More sooner than likely. Based on these recent rulings, thanks as always. He said not really, just increases the chances a lot, and it's kind of hard to tell what he means by just increases the chances a lot.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.